Take me to the King. I don't have much to bring. My heart is torn in pieces. It's my offering.
Right one, but here we definitely want to enter a new year, brothers and sisters. Are you ready for that?
Ngeta.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this year we have lost some people, we won some things, we learned some things, we forgot some things,
Yeah.
and so yenge again to everyone here.
Yenge.
Yenge family.
We're gonna move forward with the news. Last Sunday, I saw that many people wasn't prepared to do the ritual. And I hope that we next Sunday, we really can start doing the ritual, because it's important, because after the ritual, I will do my Facebook healing and session. Yeah, because I have every year a YouTube healing session. I will do it after that. Maybe I will also use a Ngunza or something like that from the Congo, and maybe we're gonna do it together. So the you guys gonna see some things. This is where they will call Masa the Warlock. But hey, I have to show a little, yeah, so that they see that there's no Christianity no more in us, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
There's
Well,
a little
whatever they call you, Master, we love you. We
exactly.
don't
There's
care
a
what
little
they
bit of
call you.
there's a little bit of there's no Christianity in us, but in Christianity we'll find things from us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, this is something that they have to learn now. Yeah, even to my mom, if she comes sometimes with things, I'm like, Mom, really, I was in my uncle's house with my wife, and I talked a little bit about our ancient god, Tatanzambi and Pungu Tulendo, and the woman was like, yeah, this was a very powerful god, right? But Jesus too, right? He said, no, it's a little here. But I believe in Yiseka'yah. Believe me, I believe in Yiseka'yah. The only thing is we don't know his story very well. Something is wrong there. So it's better to worship someone that we know.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So it's special. Now the good thing about all this is that thing. I think some of you guys saw the video about the healing of earth. Who has some questions before I will tell you guys what to do? Yeah. Okay, great. Question?
No, I don't have a question, but I was just gonna say that share that because I did the class but I actually healed someone with the earth because his element is earth, and I actually healed him. And this was, I don't know, a couple months ago. And actually I have some amazing testimonies, but I wouldn't know where to start. But especially, but I'll just say this though. The teaching, you're teaching about angels, and this week the Most High got up in the morning and gave me Psalms 91 verse 11, for he shall give his angels charge over thee. But the angels are really our ancestors, and my ancestors, it's pretty deep, but this is how, like, you were asking different ones, like what was the year, and how their year was and everything. And for me, coming to the motherland was my connection to connect back to my angels, which are my ancestors, who actually pray through me, and and they give me revelations and even things to come. And it's pretty powerful, and it's pretty, but for me, like, it's like normal. It's normal. But if I never came to the motherland, if I wasn't here, to me, I don't feel like I would have actually had that connection, like if I was still in the West. So this is my testimony. But yeah, but that was that revelation, Psalms 91 verse 11, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. So as Bantus, that's our ancestors who have made it to the Pemba Kalonga, come back, help us. And like, I have such great peace now and such joy and pray. Obviously, not doing ancestral worship or any of that stuff, but it's just really powerful. It's just really amazing. Like
Like I
yesterday,
said,
yeah,
you guys learned that Adam named the animals, and Adam had so much power over the angels. This is us. So it's how can it be ancestral worship if you're telling your ancestors to help
yes,
you or guide you? So it's we are not out of the Bible. We are just we are just interpreting it in the righteous way. This is how Simon Kimbango said it when they asked him, should we throw away the scriptures? He said, no way. Just go and move forward. And then you're going to see who the liar is. You're going to catch him with his own words, Yeah. So, and this is what we do. Yeah. And we are not out of the scripture because the scriptures are still guiding us. And every word that is written, will happen anyway. Yeah. Yeah. For people that think, oh, yeah, we're just wasting time by always hearing here and there from always we are hearing always the same thing, like Tatanzambi here, God there, Yahweh, blah, blah, blah. It's an endless thing, but we humans, we are made to worship. The Most High created us to worship Him. This is why we are here. Yeah. And it's better if you're here and you worshiped Him, because when you start traveling, and many people, maybe I should do some more videos again about when we die and what happens. Yeah, because we know a lot of things about that. My wife and I, the only thing at the moment she's off because she's very good in that. She wrote some new stuff, she sees a lot of things. She writes a lot of things when she travels. And yeah, she knows how even better how to interpret those things than me. Yeah. Because it's that what she sees, And I can tell you guys, the Most High there's a wondering. You are dying every day. Every day you die and when you wake up again. Yeah. So many people don't know those things. So when there will be a day that you will sleep and never ever you will come back. So they will ask you, did you pray? The Most High never wanted your money. He never wanted anything else from you. He wanted prayers. He eats prayers. People have to understand this, And when you say, oh, Father, you didn't give me child, you didn't give me money, you didn't give me a house, He will be, but where are my prayers? Because now you will stay here for a while, then you will go back, and maybe you will receive then what you wanted. Even in the books or in the scriptures that we read, you saw that the Most High is putting people, when you go to the Most High, you don't know no more what you did before. When you come back, when you're born, then you're deleted again. Yeah. So, and I think I have to start making also 2-3 movies about that because she wrote it already. I will just tell her to translate, and then we're gonna move forward with that. Because the last time she spoke about some things, I was like, oh. If the humans start knowing those things, my goodness, every one of us will be humble because there is no white, yellow. Here is something bigger than this, and we have to be very careful. Me, myself, if I start hearing those things, I understand a little bit more how the Most High have created the world. Sister Iseka?
Yenge family, Yenge brother Marcel, everyone. I had a question because you say I wasn't able to participate in the ritual last Sunday because of some other things. But when you say to bring earth, is that clay? We have to buy clay, or we can just use the earth from the backyard? Which one?
So myself, I have from the backyard, like some normal clay, but we're gonna also use some clay to eat. Yeah. This clay that you can eat, this is clay that the pregnant women eat.
You mean mabele?
Mabele, exactly. You remember that Isaiah healed with clay and stuff like that. And I'm gonna show you now, because I showed you also that the nations also know a lot of stuff about that. But now I'm going to show you the Bible verses. I'm going to show you the exact way how to, you know, heal yourself or heal someone else, yeah, with clay.
Okay.
Exactly. You know?
Okay.
And this is
So
what I'm gonna show you, and this is what we're going to practice in this night. That's why you need old clothing, water, clay, because you're gonna you rolata putulu. Putulu means you're gonna wear a sackcloth. Yeah, you're gonna understand the importance of sack clothing and mourning, humiliating front of the Most High. Yeah, but to receive something that you want. Matthew 7:7, who knocks on the door, he receives. The problem that we are very arrogant, yeah. And I mean, many of us, yeah, me including, some of us have a shame to pray to the Most High. They're like, oh man, do he really hears me? He knows my sins. He knows what I do. How should I pray to him? If he really lives, man, I'm a sinner. So, and then here comes Masa. He will say, okay, in this day, there is no problem. We're going to go through it. We're going to wear our clothing. We're going to hear you're going to write your things down. You're going to, it's good if you have some old clothing, because this clay will stick on your body, and you're going to see how it will become warm, and it will start healing you. And it's amazing. And it's good if you learn, if you want to learn. If not, it's also to you.
okay. No, then I will have to. I don't know. We don't have it here in Portugal. It has to come from Belgium. I think I will just look
That's
for
why
it.
you have
first
one more
here.
week. You have one more week.
Yes.
I think you can also order it. Is it on Amazon?
Okay. Okay. Then I will do.
Amazon, you can find
At
something
least
like
now
that.
I know which kind of clay, because I was kind of
People that are
confused,
in Africa, they can get it from everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quick
Thank
question,
you.
what color is that clay? Do you want Mabele?
What color is that? Sister, brother Ebom.
Usually you know exactly clay color is like it's not brown. Sometimes it depends how it was dried, but usually they have these ash color,
Like
mostly
gray.
ash color, gray, and then sometimes some of them are white. It depends how they made it, but most one that they always eat is always gray. Okay.
Okay,
Exactly.
thank you.
It tastes good. No? Clay tastes good. So chill down and yeah, enjoy. Brother, you can start.
Okay. Testament of Solomon, son of David, who was king in Jerusalem and mastered and controlled all spirits of air on earth and under the earth. By means of them also he wrote all the transcendent works of the temple, telling also of the authorities they wield against them, and by that angels these demons are brought to naught. Blessed art thou, Congo, who didst give Solomon such authority. Glory to thee in mighty unto the ages in Geta. The Apocalypse of Ezra. And on the fourth day thou didst command, and there came into being the shining sun, and the light of the moon, and the order of the stars, 46. And thou didst command them to serve man who was about to be formed by you, Congo. Salem being built by the spirits, and behold, when the temple of the city of Jerusalem was being built, and the artificers were working through it, Arnias, the demon, came among them toward sunset, and he took away half of the pay of the chief devices, little boy, as well as half his food. He also continued to suck the thumb of his right hand every day, and the child grew thin, although he was very lovely by the king. Sorry for that. Congo with Zola for his people. So King Solomon called the boy one day and questioned him, saying, "Do I not love thee more than all the artisans who are working in the temple of Congo? Do I not give you double wages and double supply of food? How is that day by day and hour by hour you grow thinner?" But the child said to the king, "I pray thee, O king, listen to what has befallen all that child hath. After we are all released from our work on the temple Congo, after sunset, when lie down to rest, one of the evil demons comes and takes away from me one half of my pay and one half of my food. Then he also takes hold of my right hand and sucks my thumb. Although my soul is oppressed, and so my body waxes thinner every day, an object of power for the king of Salem. Now when Solomon heard this, I entered the temple of Congo, and he prayed with all my soul, night and day, that demon might be delivered into my hands, and that I might gain authority over him. It came about through my prayer that grace was given to me from Congo by Michael, his archangel. He brought me a little ring having a seal consisting of engraved stones, and said to me, "Take the gift which Congo has sent thee, the highest authority with either shall look upon all demons of the earth, male and female, and with their help thou shalt build up Jerusalem."
Okay. Brothers and sisters, this is no joke, eh? It's not written in the Bible, huh?
Nope.
Okay. Every one
Wow.
of us knows that Solomon was dealing with demons. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was catching them, and this is how our forefathers worked too. This is how our kingdoms was. And this is why
Wow.
when the colonizers came and started saying, "Those people are sorcerers." Yeah, we had the powers to deal with the good ones and the bad ones. Okay.
Yeah.
This doesn't
Yeah.
mean that we are sorcerers, but we had the powers, yeah, to deal with the good angels and the bad angels. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to war, you don't call the good ones, you call these ones the war. Go and fight for me because I don't want my people to die. That's why we had also slaves. I explained it very well. Those slaves that we had are not the slaves that like we went to slavery, being punished, being molested, names changed and whatever. This is another type of slavery. Our slaves, when we went to fight people in North Africa or in the Middle East over there, when we fought our enemies, we took some slaves. Even if the Most High said, finish them all off, you see how the Most High was, right? He said, finish them all off. But our people took some slaves and they gave them the chance to have their families with them, to work for us, to be a part of us, to learn our spirituality, to go to worship the Most High and stuff like that. Really, this is how it was. When the colonizers came, they saw that, and they saw that, and they saw also the harmony that we had with our slaves. That's why the Most High always said, "Don't do anything bad to your slaves." Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring in light also that Abraham also managed pedigrees, and all these things also what come to him by the wars he won on, by the values he struggled and tried to preserve. So the role of having servitude and connecting people back to God by circumcision was way before Moses, and many people don't know this relation and how the cultural pedigrees and roots work and what there with Shemite always, and to the heathens, we also have to bring that to light, so that, for example, the evangelical Christian side don't try to make a war out of Paul's word and say you are lawful, it's bad to keep the Torah, and all this strategic, play of wordings, they always do when they say they are in the new covenant without understanding some principal things.
Okay, good. That's right. You're totally right, but you have to calm down because we have to move forward, right? So the thing is, you're totally right. Yeah. We like you said, we took those Gentiles and we made them, here to understand our Father, to know, even in the book of Zephaniah, etc., Ezekiel, you can see that the Sephardic Jews, Sephardim from Spain and stuff like that, they didn't know how to worship our fathers. We teach them how to worship our fathers so that the animals doesn't kill them, so that they understand how the Most High is, etc. This is how we did our stuff. Now, today, many people do not know why so many people are going back to Africa. And why the Most High still say that Gentiles will know the Most High before his people. It will not be like Gentiles will teach us who the Most High is, like they did before. It will be like that they will be opening up to listen who the Father is, because the end of the world will be seen by all nations. And people will search for solutions, and nowhere will be solution to found, not in science, not in magic, not in whatever one. Now people will start asking themselves, who can teach us the Most High, like Moses went to the mountains and say, here, I have the formula that the Most High gave me, listen, and this is the way. You see? And, we have stiff-necked people, but the whole world have to listen now. And the kingdom will be built like it was before by Gentiles, by our people too, but also by spiritual powers. Because when I tell you that we are going back to alchemy, brothers and sisters, I'm not joking. Yeah, I'm not joking. Okay, so okay, let us continue reading. If not, we're gonna sleep here. Sister Kiki, you can move forward. Sister Moya.
Yeah, is it my turn to read? Is it my turn to read?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so I start from the highlighted. Yes, okay. But thou must wear the seal of Congo, and this engraving of the seal of the ring sent thee is a pentalpha. Now, divine instructions from Congo. And I, Solomon, was overjoyed and praised
Brothers
and
and sisters, the thing with the seal is very important. Brothers and sisters, the Most High have his seal that you saw when the plagues came to Egypt. Yeah, he said, put the blood of the goat, right, right, in front of your doors. Yeah, sealing is very important. That's why he said it's the pentafla. That's why you see me also. I'm still today. I have my staff alva on my banner, because I really know exactly that the sealing, yeah, it's not a joke. Yeah, people have to know, if they look at you, they have to know, okay, that person is from the Most High. That person is not. Yeah. So this will be also something that, you know, that will be told or will be done to our people in the righteous time when the right persecution starts. Because those that will not have the seal, the mark of the Most High, they will be treated, they will be put into jail, you know, they will have a lot of problems, brothers and sisters. Believe me, that time is about to come. And everyone will see it. Okay, go ahead.
And I, Solomon, was overjoyed and praised and glorified Congo of heavens and earth. And on the morrow, I called the boy and gave him the ring and said to him, take this, and at the hour in which the demon shall come unto thee, throw this ring at the chest of the demon and say to him, in the name of Tatanzam, King Solomon calls thee hither, and then do thou come running to me. So the child took the ring and went off, and behold, at the customary hour, Onias, the fierce demon, came like a burning fire to take the pay from the child. But the child, according to the instructions received from the king, threw the ring at the chest of the demon and said, King Solomon calls thee hither. And then he went off and ran to the king. But the demon cried aloud, saying, child, why hast thou done this to me? Take the ring off me, and I will render to thee the gold of the earth. Only take this off me, and forbear to lead me away to Solomon. Okay. Orneas, the name meaning pesky, is an annoying vampiric demon who lives in the constellation Aquarius, in the constellation Aquarius, and is capable of having shape shifting. Orneas is regarded as one of the lowest of the low within the hierarchy of demons and is treated as a joke by many high-ranking demons. Despite his low and pathetic status, Orneas is known to be quite cunning, although his plans would usually end disastrously for him. Spiritual authority. I have brought the demon, O king, as thou didst command me, O my master, and behold, he stands before the gates of the court of thy palace, crying out and supplicating with a loud voice, offering me the silver and gold of the earth, if I will only bring him unto thee. Solomon heard this. He rose up from his throne and went outside into the vestibule of the court of his palace. And there he saw the demon, shuddering and trembling, and he said to him, who art thou? And the demon answered, I am called Onias. Not all demons are the same. Solomon said to him, tell me, O demon, to what zodiacal sign thou art subject? And he answered, to the water pourer, and those who are consumed with desire for the noble virgins upon earth. There appears to be a lacuna here. Well, these I strangle. But in case there is no disposition to sleep, I am changed into three forms. Whenever men come to be enamored of women, I metamorphose myself into a comely female, and I take hold of the men in their sleep and play with them. And after a while, I again take to my wings and fly to the heavenly regions. I also appear as a lion, and I am commanded by all the demons. I am offspring of the angel Uriel, the power of Congo. A true king has authority over all spirits in Geta. I, Solomon, having heard the name of the archangel, prayed and glorified Congo.
Brothers and sisters, do you sleep?
No.
No,
No.
no.
No, we are here. We are here.
Not at all.
No.
Yenge.
My
Yenge,
word-
yenge, yenge, yenge.
I know that you guys love to watch movies, but now you're reading it. You're inside of it. Scooby Dooby Doo, you know. This is
Yeah.
this is how these demons are. They're just they were they were angels, and now they became demons, and they really exist, and they do some crafty things with humans. But now we have to know what kind of things, you know, make them to run away, you know, to go off us, because we have to be pure, you know.
Mhm.
And we need something like a detector, you know. If a demon passes in the street and makes tick, 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 that's him, you know, and you go with the garlic, you know. Now, you know, this is the mission of the Most High.
Sorry,
So,
brother. This what I'm hearing. It sounds to me like what these people of night do. It's very sounds like you know, a woman of night, or you know, man of night.
yeah, it's a very dangerous demon, but you're gonna learn a little bit more about them very soon. Yeah, let us continue reading.
Okay. Do I continue? Okay. I, Solomon, haven't heard the name of the archangel, prayed and glorified Congo of heavens and earth. And I sealed the demon and set him to work at stone cutting, so that he might cut the stones in the temple, which lying along the shore had been brought by the sea.
Did you see what he did with the demon?
Put him-
Work.
A demon has fear, but he, fearful of the iron, continued and said to me, I pray thee, King Solomon, let me go free, and I will bring you all the demons. And as he was not willing to be subject to me, I prayed the archangel Uriel to come and succor me. This is help given to someone, especially someone who is suffering or in need. And I, forthwith, beheld the archangel Uriel coming down to me from the heavens. And the angel made the whales of the sea come out of the abyss, and he cast his destiny upon the ground. And that destiny made subject to him the great demon. And he commanded the great demon and told Ornias to cut stones at the temple. I, Solomon, glorified Congo of heavens and the maker of the earth. And he bade Ornias come with his destiny and gave him the seal, saying, away with thee and bring me hither the prince of all the demons. Spirits are subject to power. So Ornias took the finger ring and went off to Beelzebub, who has kingship over the demons. He said to him, hither, Solomon calls thee. But Beelzebub, having heard, said to him, tell me, who is this Solomon of whom thou speakest to me? Then Ornias threw the ring at the chest of Beelzebub, saying, Solomon the king calls thee. But Beelzebub cried aloud with a mighty voice and shot out a great burning flame of fire. And he arose and followed Ornias and came to Solomon.
Now you know why some of our forefathers used bad spirits to protect their own families. Now you know where this comes from. Okay, they knew exactly this families, they're warlocks. Now I need here some spirits that will protect me from these warlocks. But they just use these spirits only for protection. Can you imagine? And all this knowledge was given to us. These Shaka Zulus and those kind of people, they had superpowers. No joke, brothers and sisters. When the Europeans came to Africa, that's what they saw there. Like it was in heaven, so was it here on earth. They had superpowers. Yeah, Wakanda forever, you know. So when we want to learn those things, we have to be patient and to understand first, yeah, and to get wisdom, yeah, because this we are dealing with spirits. We're not dealing with, not everyone is a human, not every object is physical. So we have to be very, very smart, yeah, by dealing with those kind of things, yeah. because they are very smart and tricky. Now we have to know how to deal with them so that they don't come and, you know, deceive us one more time, so that we be 1,000 years in slavery or something like that, because we were deceived already. And we have to be very, very smart and humble and patient, and to know how to hit the prayers and which days and how to fear the Most High, and, you know, to be very, very obedient and keeping the laws and commandments. Sister Kim?
Beelzebub claims to cause destruction through tyrants, to cause demons to be worshipped among men, to excite priests to lust, to cause jealousies in cities and murders, and to bring on war. Spiritual rankings of demons. I questioned him and said, "Who art thou?" The demon replied, "I am Beelzebub, the arch of the demons. And all the demons have their chief seats close to me. And it is who make manifest the apparition of them, of each demon. And he promised to bring to me in bonds all the unclean spirits. And I again glorified Congo of heavens and earth, as I do always give thanks to him."
So he gives thanks to the Most High. Yeah. A demon that gives thanks to the Most High, so that he receives all the unclean spirit. Like, what is this demon that eats children? What is his name again? Not Baal, there's a name.
Moloch.
Moloch. Moloch. He's also thankful, you know. Oh, one more time. This woman again did, what is this, when they kill children before they abortion, you know, stuff like that, you know, or a sacrifice, you know, this children goes to the Moloch. So there is a world within this world. Yeah.
Okay. I then asked the demon if there were females among them. And when he told me that there were, I said that I desired to see them. So Beelzebub went off at high speed and brought unto me Onachilius, and she had a very pretty shape, and the skin of the fair-haired woman, and she tossed her head. A demon has a home and work torment on the earth. And when she came, I said to her, "Tell me who thou art." But she said to me, "I am called Onachilius, a spirit wrought
The
Shabbatin Saturn, lurking upon the earth. There is a golden cave where I lie, but I have a place that ever shifts. At one time, I strangle men with a noose. At another, I creep up from the nature to the arms in marge worms. But my most frequent dwelling places are the principices, caves, ravens. Oftentimes, however, I do consort with men in the semblance of a woman, and above all with those of dark skin. For they share my star with me, since it is who privately are openly worship my star, without knowing that they harm themselves and whet my appetite for further mischief. For they wish to provide money by means of commemoration, but I supply a little to those who worship me fairly.
He is that nice woman, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, goodness. Okay. The Onachilius are demons that possess the body of a voluptuous woman, but with a head that bears a resemblance to a Venice flytrap, lined with many sharp teeth, with, oh yeah, that picture is horrible. Many sharp teeth, with hairless, goatish legs. Some also possess jewelry or protruding horns on certain parts of their bodies, which seemed to denote rank. How a demon is born. And I solemn questioned her about her birth. And she replied, I was born of a voice untimely, the so-called echo of a man's odor 20 dropped in wood. And I said to her, under what star do thou pass? And she answered me, under the star of the full moon, for the reason that the moon travels over most things. Then I said to her, and what angel it is that frustrates thee? And she said to me, he that is in thee or through thee is reigning. And I thought that she mocked me and made a soldier strike her. But she cried aloud and said, I am subjected to thee, O king, by the wisdom of Congo given to thee, and by the angel Joel. So I commanded her to spin the hemp for the ropes used in the building of the house of Congo. And accordingly, when I had sealed and bound her, she was so overcome and brought to naught as to stand night and day spinning the hemp. And I at once bade another demon to be led unto me. And instantly there approached me the demon Asamadas, bound, and I asked him, who art thou? But he gave me a glance of anger and rage and said, and who art thou? Asmodeus or Asmodiah is a king of demons, mostly known from the Deuteronomical book of Tobit, in which he is the primary antagonist. This merit is also mentioned in some Talmudic legends, for instance, in the story of the construction of the Temple of Solomon. Okay. What are the 7 Deuteronomical books? These colonists of 7 books, Tobit, Judith, Baruch, Ecclesiasticus, Wisdom, 1st and 2nd Maccabees, and certain editions of Esther and Daniel. The fall of man is near. And I said to him, thus punished art thou, answered me. But he said with rage, said to me, but how shall I answer thee? For thou art a son of man, whereas I was born an angel seed by the daughter of a man, so that no word of our heavenly kind addressed to the earth-born can be overweening. Wherefore also my star is bright in heaven, and men call it some the wane, and some the dragon's child. I keep near unto this star, so ask me not many things, for thy kingdom also after a little time is to be disrupted. And thy glory is but for a season, and short will be thy tyranny over us. And then we shall again have free range over mankind, so as that they shall revere us as if we were gods, not knowing men that they are the names of angels set over us. And I, Solomon of hearing this, bound him more carefully and ordered him to be flogged with thongs of oxhide, and to tell me humbly what was his name and what his business. And he answered me thus, I am called Asmodeus among mortals, and my business is to plot against the newly wedded, so that they may not know one another. And I severed them utterly by many calamities, and I waste away the beauty of virgin women and estrange their hearts. Wow. Okay, we don't fight against flesh and blood. And I said to him, is this thy only business? And he answered me, I transport men into fits of madness and desire when they have wives of their own, so that they leave them and go off by night and day to others that belong to other men, with the result that they commit sin and fall into murderous deeds. Wow. Know thy enemy. And I adjured them adjured him by the name of Congo, saying, "Fear Congo, Asmodeus, and tell me by what angel thou art frustrated." But he said, "By Raphael, the archangel that stands before the throne of Congo. But the liver and gall of a fish put me to flight when smoked over ashes of the tamarisk. I again asked him and said, hide not aught from me, for I am Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Tell me the name of the fish which thou reverest. And he answered, it is Glanus by name, and is found in the rivers of Assyria. Wherefore it is that I roam about in those parts.
Brothers and sisters,
My goodness.
do you see? As you have archangels, so you have also very mighty demons. And
Yeah.
they, all of them have different kinds of works. Okay.
Wow.
Can a demon have fear? I pray thee, King Solomon, condemn me not to the water. But I smiled and said to him, as Congo, God of my fathers, liveth, I will lay iron on thee to wear. But thou shalt also make the clay for the entire construction of the temple, threading it down with thy feet. And I ordered them to give him 10 water jars to carry water in. And the demon groaned terribly and did the work I ordered him to do. And this I did because the fierce demon Asmodeus knew even the future. And I, Solomon, glorified Congo, who gave wisdom to me, Solomon, his servant. And the liver of the fish and its gall I hung on the spike of the reed and burned it over Asmodeus because of his being so strong, and his unbearable malice was thus frustrated. The fallen angel and they have kids. And I summoned again to stand before me Beelzebul, the prince of demons. And I set him down on a raised seat of honor and said to him, why art thou alone, prince of demons? And he said to me, because I alone am left of the angels of heaven that came down. For I was first angel in the first heaven, being entitled Beelzebul. And now I control all those who are bound in Tartarus. But I too have a child, and he hunts the Red Sea. And on any suitable occasion, he comes up to me again, being subject to me, and reveals to me what has been done, and I support him. Demons entice men to war. I, Solomon, said unto him, Beelzebul, why is thy employment? What is thy employment? And he answered me, I destroy kings. I ally myself with foreign tyrants, and my own demons I set on to men, in order that the latter may believe in them and be lost. And the chosen servants of Congo, priests and faithful men, I excite them unto desires for wicked sins and evil heresies and lawless deeds, and they obey me, and I bear them on to destruction. And I inspire men with envy and desire for murder and for wars and sodomy and other evil things, and I will destroy the world. So I said to him, bring to me thy child, who is, as thou sayest, in the Red Sea. But he said to me, I will not bring him to thee, but there shall come to me another demon called Ephiphas, and he will I bind, and he will bring him from the deep into me. And I said to him, how comes thy son to be in the depth of the sea? And what is his name? And he answered me, ask me not, for thou canst not learn from me. However, he will come to thee by any command and will tell thee openly.
Yes, 72 demons of Solomon. Just for you guys to know how great that guy was. He was dealing with demons, brothers and sisters. He was God on earth. So because of Enoch, we know some demons. You know, and they never look nice, huh?
My goodness. Look at that.
Have someone ever seen something like that in his dreams or something like that?
Hideous.
Oh, yes. My goodness. I would start, if I see something like that, then I would start to read the Bible
Oh.
up.
My goodness. All right.
Awful.
Then
Oh,
my goodness.
then it's over.
Wow.
Eh? Like this one here. Oh, you know,
That deep though.
you see? So, yeah.
Wow.
These are the things that comes to, lives in some human bodies, yeah, and do some evil stuff with us, yeah.
Wow.
Humans have emotions for one another. I, Solomon, was astounded when I heard this, and I ordered him to saw the marbles. And when he began to saw the marbles, the other demons cried out with a loud voice, howling because of their king Beelzebub. But I, Solomon, questioned him, saying, if thou wouldest gain a respite, discourse to me about the things in heaven. And Beelzebub said, hear, O king, if thou burn gum and incense and bulb of the seal with nard and saffron, and light 7 lamps in an earthquake, thou wilt firmly fix thy house. And if being pure, thou light them at dawn in the sun alight, then wilt thou see the heavenly dragons.
So he's coming with some alchemy here.
Wow. They wind themselves along and drag the chariot of the sun. Commander.
Now you know why the Satanists, they have the candles there. They put the star of so-called David there. And, darkness, oh, Lilith, come to us, and whatever, you know, and, you have to know alchemy.
Wow.
That's why the world have power, by the way, but people are still believing that people are great just because of their own power, but we know that there's some demonic influence in some humans, because like I said, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood. And we as the angels, we are also angels, huh? Don't worry about that. Yeah, so you don't think that Solomon was there talking to them. No, he also had his angels behind him.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why, brothers and sisters, it's always good to know for whom you are fighting for.
Command another demon to present himself to me. And he came before me, who carried his.
Brothers and sisters, he was summoning the demons. Yeah, it's not like the demons he was somewhere and there were a lot of demons. He was summoned them. Like doing rituals to summon them. And then he catch them by the neck. Who are you? Okay, now you know. Okay.
Right. And one came before me who carried his face high up in the air, but the rest of the spirit curled away like a snail.
Yeah. When you want to know the truth of this world, you have to know, that you have to bring them out from the other world. Yeah, like also the Malakim, the angels from the Most High, and then they have to start revealing you that what you want to know. Now you don't go and start asking, really, under the fire of heavens and the angels coming down, Uriel, all of them, the Sephardim. You don't go to ask, when will the Most High come? Answer the questions that they themselves don't know how to answer. No, you go and ask, here, I need my diamonds here. How can I get them? What will I do with them? How can I build my weapons? And this is the fear of the world. So that because this is about to come, that we're going to have schools where people will going to ask again the righteous questions, and we're going to build our kingdom again. And even if we have to catch some demons and say, what did you do with the Cameroon, with the Nigeria? What are you doing? Oh, please, Master, let me go. Not today, my friend. I have a lot of time. Now you will reveal me everything. What is your plan in the next coming years? And they have to speak out. And brothers and sisters, this is true. Yeah. And people are always fearing the other world. They're fearing demons. They're fearing everything, that goes that goes to outside their understanding. But while you're fearing them or fearing demons, fearing while you have fear of everything that is happening in your life, these demons become stronger and attacking you even more and do even more things against you and your nation and your families, because you can't run away from them,
Okay. And it broke through the few soldiers and raised also a terrible dust on the ground and carried it upwards, and then again hurled it back to frighten us and asked what questions I could ask as a rule. And I stood up and spat on the ground in that spot and sealed with the ring of the Tatanzami, and forthwith the dust wind stopped. Then I asked him, saying, "Who art thou, O wind?" The demon answered me, "I am the spirit of the ashes, Taphris." And I said to him, "What is thy pursuit?" And he said, "I bring darkness on men and set fire to fields, and I bring homesteads to naught. But most busy am I in summer. However, when I get an opportunity, I creep into corners of the wall by night and day, for I am offspring of the great one and nothing less."
Now you see in California, the wood and the forest is burning, and people are like, "Oh, this just happened because of someone smoked a cigarette," But the Most High is just showing them, look, I control demons and angels, and one day if I leave them to go against you guys, then you better know who I am, and you really know me by my name, because these things won't come easy, and that's why, brothers and sisters, we are here to learn. That's why everything becomes so you can almost touch the truth,
Wow. Okay. Great one. Nothing less. Accordingly, I said to him, "Under what star dost thou lie?" And he answered, "In the very tip of the moon's horn. When it is found in the south, there is my star. For I have been bidden to restrain the convulsions of the hemorrhagic fever. And that is why many men pray to the hemorrhagic fever using these three names: Bultala, Thalal, Melkal. And I heal them."
So maybe someone else wants to read the rest. A good reader.
I can read.
Okay.
And I said to him, "I am Solomon. When therefore thou wouldest do harm, by whose aid doest thou do it?" But he said to me, by angels, by whom also the 3rd day's fever is lulled to rest. So I questioned him and said, "By what name?" And he answered, "That of the archangel Azael." And I summoned the archangel Azael and set a seal on the demon and commanded him to size great stones, and toss them up to the workmen on the higher part of the temple. Being compelled, the demon began to do what he was bidden to do. Ordered another demon to come before me, and there came 7 spirits, females, bound and woven together, fair in appearance and comely. And I, Solomon, seeing them, questioned them and said, "Who are ye?" But they, with one accord, said with one voice, we are one of the 33 elements of the cosmic ruler of darkness.
Yeah,
And
that's why you have the 33 degree on Freemasonry. And you have here Azael, all the demons that we read here today. By the way, you can also Google them. Yeah, because the nations know them very well. Yeah, you can see it always on Netflix. You're seeing demons, but many people do not even understand. Yeah, the nations, the Catholic Church, they know the demons very well. Look, they're giving them faces here, Azazel, and in comic books and in everything here, Azazel. So he's almost worshipped.
Yeah.
Azazel, the demon. Hey, I'm watching an anime right now. You don't want to see what they are against they are fighting with. There are demons very well. Well, you can see them. They know them. They know. So how can you know those things if you're just a normal human? If you're innocent, exactly. So we know when we grow up in the school and we had friends, or let's see some other people in the class writing. They had some dark books there. They were painting some demons there, some dark stuff, and some others they wear like dark clothing with the pentagrams and Satan marks, and many people, they know more than you think. We in Germany, we sat down there and they have some tarot cards. They put it down there on the table. I saw some table going up from itself when they did young people. I think, how old? 13, 14 or stuff like that. They knew all this, and it worked very well. You can ask the spirit right now where you are, if you know how, and people do that. In Europe, in the Asia, in the India, this is something very normal. You don't go to a shaman to know, to ask your ancestor spirit to invoke them, whatever. You don't, a woman that wants to possess a man, she goes and does some rituals and gives it to her man to drink, and the guy is done. Yeah. This is, you don't need a shaman for that. It's just where you are. If the evil spirit enters, they will teach you how to do this alchemy together, put things together, and do that what you have to do. Like having a perfume or having a pen that writes for you everything. There's so many types of witchcraft that people do not even have. And this is how the world goes, brothers and sisters. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. But with one accord, said with one voice, we are one of the 33 elements of the cosmic ruler of darkness. And the first said, I am deception. The second said, I am strife. The third, I am cluttered, which is battle. The fourth said, I am jealousy. The fifth said, I am power. The sixth said, I am error. The seventh said, I am the worst of all. And our stars are in heaven, 7 stars humble in sheen, and all together. And we are called as it were goddesses. We change our places all and together we live. Sometimes in Lydia, sometimes in Olympus, and sometimes in a great mountain. So I, Solomon, question them one by one, beginning with the first and going down to the 7th. The first said, I am deception. I deceive and weave snares here and there. I wait and excite heresies, but I have an angel who frustrates me. Lamakalel. Likewise, also the second said, I am strife of strifes. I bring timber, stones, hangers, my weapons on the spot, but I have an angel who frustrates me. Barukachel. Likewise, also the third said, I am called Kintuadi, which is battle, and I caused the well-behaved to scatter and fall foul of the other. And why do I say much? I have an angel that frustrates me, Mamarat. 38. Likewise, also the fourth said, I cause men to forget their sobriety and moderation. I part them and split them into parties, for strife follows me hand in hand. I rent the husband from the sharer of his bed, and children from parents, and brothers from sisters, but tell so much to my despite. I am an angel that frustrates me. I have an angel that frustrates me. The great Batziel. Likewise, also the fifth said, I am power. By power, I raise up tyrants and tear down kings. To all rebels, I furnish power. I have an angel that frustrates me, Ashtaroth. 40. Likewise, all the six said, I am error, O King Solomon, and I will make thee to err. I have before made thee to err. When I cause thee to slay thy own brother, I will lead you into error, so as to pry into graves. I teach them that dig. I lead errant souls away from all piety. And many other evil traits are mine, but I have an angel that frustrates me, Uriel. 42. So I, Solomon, having heard and wondered, and sealed them with my ring, and since they were so considerable, I bade them dig the foundations of the temple of God. For the length of it was 250 cubits. I bade them be industrious with one murmur of joint protest. They began to perform the task enjoined. I, Solomon, glorified the Yah, and made another demon come before me. And there was brought to me a demon having all the limbs of man, but without a head. And I, seeing him, said to him, tell me, what art thou? And he answered, I am a demon. So I said to him, which? And he answered, I am called envy, for I have delight to devour heads, being desirous to secure for myself a head, but I do not eat enough. But I'm anxious to have such a head as thou hast. I, Solomon, on hearing this, sealed him, stretching out my hand against his chest, whereon the demon leapt up and threw himself down and gave a groan, saying, woe is me, where am I come to? Traitor Onias, I cannot see. So I said to him, I am Solomon. Tell me then, how dost manage to see? And he answered me, by means of my feeling. Solomon, having heard his voice come up to me, I asked him how he managed to speak, and he answered to me, O King Solomon, I am holy voice, for I have inherited the voice of many men. For in the case of all men who are called dumb, it is who smash their heads when they were children and had reached their 8th day. Then when a child is crying in the night, I became a spirit and glid by the means of his voice. In the crossways also, I have many services to render, and my encounter is fraught with harm, for I grasp in all instant a man's head, and with my hands as with a sword, I cut it off and put it onto myself. In this way, by means of the fire which is in me, through my neck, it is swallowed up. It is that send grave mutilations and incurable on men's feet and inflict sores. Tell me how thou doest discharge forth the fire, out of what source doest thou emit it? The Spirit said to me, from the day star one, for here had not yet been found that Elburion to whom men offer prayers, kindle light, and in his name is invoked by the 7 demons before me, and he cherishes them, or from the Orient. But I said to him, tell me his name. But he answered, I cannot tell thee, for if I tell his name, I render myself incurable. But he will come in response to his name. On hearing this, I said to him, tell me then by what angel thou art frustrated. And he answered, by the fiery flash of lightning. And I bow myself before the Lord of heaven of Isolele, and bade him remain in the keeping of Beelzebul until tax should come. 47. Then I ordered another demon to come before me, and there came into my presence a hound, having a very large shape, and he spoke with a loud voice and said, Hail, Lord King Solomon. And Solomon was astounded. I said to him, who art thou, O hound? And it answered, I do indeed seem to thee to be a hound, but before thou wast, O King Solomon, I was a man that wrought many unholy deeds on earth. I was surpassingly learned in letters, and so mighty that I could hold the stars of heaven back. And many devices work did I prepare, for I do harm to men who follow after our star and turn them to number one, and I seized the frenzied men by larynx, so destroy them. Him with his finger ring mark the spot with care. Bring me to the demon Theta. The demon showed him the green stone, and he sealed it and brought the demon to me. I, Solomon, decided to confine with my seal on my right hand the headless demon, likewise the hound that was so vulgar. He should be bound as well. And I bade the hound keep safe the fiery spirit, so that lamps as it were might by day and night cast their light through its wall on the artisans at work. I, Solomon, took from the 9 of that stone 200 shekels for the support of the table of incense, which was similar in appearance. I, Solomon glorified Tatanzambi, then closed round the treasures of that stone, and I ordered afresh the demon to cut marble for the construction of the house of Tatanzambi. I, Solomon, praised to the Lord and asked hound, saying, by what angel art thou frustrated? The demon replied, by the great Brios. And I praised.
And the last part, who want to read the last part?
I want to read the last part from 51. And I praised the Lord, the God of heaven and earth, and bade another demon come forward to me. And there came before me one in the form of a lion, roaring. And he stood and answered me, saying, O king, in the form which I have, I'm a spirit quite incapable of being precise.
And I render the man weak, so that his habit of body is enfeebled. But I have also another glory, O king. I cast out demons, and I have legions under my control. And I am capable of being received in my dwelling places, along with all the demons belonging to the legions under me. But I, Solomon, on hearing this, asked him, what is thy name? But he answered, Lion Bearer, Wrath, in kind. And I said to him, how art thou to be frustrated along with thy legions? What angel is it that frustrates thee? And he answered, if I tell thee my name, I bind not myself alone, but also the legions of demons under me. So I said to him, I adjure thee in the name of the Most High, Sabaoth, to tell me by what name thou art frustrated along with thy hosts. And the Spirit answered me, the great among men, who is to suffer many things at the hands of men, whose name is the figure 644, which is Emmanuel. He it is who has bound us and who will then come and plunge us from the steep underwater. He is noised abroad in the three letters which bring him down. And I, Solomon, on hearing this, glorified the Most High and condemned his legion to carry wood from the thicket. And I condemned the legion, the lion-shaped one himself, to saw up the wood small with his teeth, for burning the unquenchable furnace for the temple of the Most High. Another demon come forward, and there came before me a dragon, three-headed, of fearful hue. And I questioned him, who art thou? And he answered me, I am called Trop-like spirit, whose activity in three lines. But I blind children in woman's womb and twirl their ears around, and I make them deaf and mute. And I have again in my third head means of slipping in. And I smite men in the limbless part of the body and cause them to fall down and foam and grind their teeth. But I have my own way of being frustrated. Salam being signified in writing unto the place called of the head. For there is foreappointed the angel of the great council, and now he will openly dwell on the cross. He does frustrate me, and to him am I subject. But in the place where thou sittest, O King Solomon, standeth a column in the air of purple. The demon called Epiphas has brought it up from the Red Sea, from inner Arabia. He it is that shall be shut up in a skin bottle and brought before thee. But at the entrance of the temple which thou hast begun to build, O King Solomon, lies stored much gold, which dig thou up and carry off. And I, Solomon, sent my servant and found it to be as the demon told me. And I sealed him with my ring and praised the Most High. So I said to him, what art thou called? And the demon said, I am the crest of dragons. And I bade him make bricks in the temple. He had human hands. There came before me a spirit in woman's form that had a head without any limbs, and her hair was disheveled. And I said to her, who art thou? But she answered, nay, who art thou? And why dost thou want to hear concerning me? But as thou wouldst learn, here I stand bound before thy face. Go then into thy royal storehouses and wash thy hands. Then sit down afresh before thy tribunal and ask me questions, and thou shalt learn, O king, who am I? And I, Solomon, did as she enjoined me, and restrained myself because of the wisdom dwelling in me, in order that I might hear of her deeds and reprehend them and manifest them to men. And I sat down and said to the demon, what art thou? And she said, I am called among Abisuth, and by night I sleep, she said. And by night I sleep not, but go rounds over all the world and visit women in childbirth. And divining the hour I take my stand. And if I am lucky, I strangle the child. But if not, I retire to another place. For I cannot for a single night retire unsuccessful, for I'm a fierce spirit of myriad names and many shapes. And now hither, now thither I roam. And to western parts I go my rounds. But as it now is, though thou hast sealed me round with the ring of the Most High, thou hast done nothing. I am not standing before thee, and thou wilt not be able to command me. For I have no work other than the destination of children and the making their ears to be deaf, and the working of evil to their eyes, and the binding their mouths with a bond, and the ruin of their minds, and paining of their bodies. When I, Solomon, heard this, I marveled at her appearances, for I beheld all her body to be in darkness. But her glance was altogether bright and greeny, and her hair was tossed wildly like a dragon's, and the whole of her limbs were invisible. And her voice was very clear as it came to me. And I cunningly said, tell me by what angel thou art frustrated, O evil spirit. She answered me, by the angel of the Most High called Apharot, which is interpreted Raphael, by whom I am frustrated now and for all time. His name, if any man know it, and write the same on a woman in childbirth, then I shall not be able to enter her. Of this name, the number is 6401. And I, Solomon, having heard this and having glorified the Most High, ordered her hair to be bound, and that she should be hung up in front of the temple of the Most High, that all the children of Israel, as they passed, might see it and glorify the Most High of Israel, who had given me this authority with wisdom and power from the Most High by means of this signet. And I again ordered another demon to come before me, and it came rolling itself along, one in appearance like to a dragon, but having the face and hands of a man, and all its limbs except the feet were those of a dragon, and it had wings on its back. And when I beheld it, I was astonished and said, Who art thou, demon? And what art thou called? And whence hast thou come? Tell me. And the spirit answered and said, This is the first time I have stood before O King Solomon. I am a spirit made into a god among men, but now brought to naught by the ring and wisdom vouchsafed to thee by Tatanzambi. And now I am the so-called winged wisdom. Now I am the so-called winged dragon, and I chamber not with many women, but only with a few that are of fair shape, which possess the name of XULI3 of this star. And I pair with them in the guise of a spirit winged in form Poitum habens per natis 4, and she on whom I have leapt goes heavy with child, and that which is born of her becomes eros. But since such offspring cannot be carried by men, the woman in question breaks wind. Such in my robe. Suppose then only that I am satisfied, and all the other demons molested and disturbed by thee will speak the whole truth. But those composed of fire will cause to be burned up by fire the material of the logs, which is to be collected by them for the building in the temple. And as the demon said this, I saw the spirit going forth from his mouth, and it consumed the wood of the frankincense tree and burned up all the logs which we had placed in the temple of the Most High. And I, Solomon, saw that the spirit had done, and I marveled. And having glorified the Most High, I asked dragon-shaped demon and said, Tell me, by what angel art thou frustrated? And he answered, by the great angel, which has its seat in the second heaven, which is called Hebrew Bazazeth. And I, Solomon, having heard this and having invoked his angel, condemned him to saw up marbles for the building of the temple of the Most High. And I praised Yah and commanded another demon to come before me. And there came before my face another spirit, as it were a woman in the form she had. But on her shoulders she had 2 other heads with hands. And I asked her and said, Tell me, who art thou? And she said to me, I am Sigos, who also have a myriad names. And I said her, By what angel art thou frustrated? But she said to me, What seekest? What askest thou? I undergo changes like the goddess I am called, and I change again and pass into possession of another shape. And be not desirous, therefore, to know all that concerns me. But since thou art before me for this much, hearken. I have made my abode in the moon, and for that reason I possess 3 forms. At times I am magically invoked by the wise as Cronus. At other times, in connections with those who bring me down, I come down and appear in another shape, the measure of the element, inexplicable and indefinable, and not to be frustrated. I then change into these 3 forms, come down and become such as thou seest me. But I am frustrated by the angel Rathanael, who sits in the 3rd heaven. This then is why I speak to thee. Yonder temple cannot contain me. I therefore, Solomon, prayed to my God, and I invoked the angel of whom Enephisicus spoke to me, and used my seal, and I sealed her with a triple chain and placed beneath her the fastening of the chain. I used the seal of the Most High, and the Spirit prophesied to me, saying, this is what King Solomon doeth to us. But after a time, thy kingdom, I conjecture the sense which the word must bear in this context. This prophecy corresponds roughly to the one which Lactantius instit div lib if IVC 18 shall be broken, and again in season this temple shall be riven asunder, and all Jerusalem yet shall be undone by the king of the Persians and Medes and Chaldeans. And the vessels of this temple which thou makest shall be put to servile uses of the gods, and along with them all the jars in which thou dost shut us up shall be broken by the hands of men. And then we shall go forth in great power hither and thither, and be disseminated all over the world. And we shall lead astray the inhabited world for a long season, until the Son of the Most High is stretched upon the cross. For never before does arise a king like unto him, one frustrating us all, whose mother shall not have contact with man. Who else can receive such authority over spirits except he, whom the first devil will seek to tempt, but will not prevail over? The number of his name is 6442, which is Emmanuel. Wherefore, O King Solomon, thy time is evil, and thy years short and evil, and to thy servant shall thy kingdom be given.
All praises, brothers and sisters. That's the story. Now you see that I have one question for you guys. Maybe someone can answer. So all of us are waiting for a kingdom to come. And how will the kingdom come?
Spiritually.
Okay, move forward.
As a spirit.
Build it.
It's in the Bible. It will fall from heaven.
Heaven.
Because as you can see, that kingdom wasn't built by men. It's not that kingdom that you see in this Jerusalem there, what you see there. This kingdom was heavy. This was a huge temple. Yeah. And it was built by who?
King Solomon.
By the demons that the King Solomon cast. Can you imagine? That is here. And Tata, thank you for this great Saturday in Geta. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
Geta.
Geta.